Doing this video today has made me realize we're halfway through the year and time is going by so quickly. Wait, I just sound like a Roblox character. It just wasn't good. Love him. Stan him for clear skin. And it's just so beautiful. Hey besties, it's Joel, and today we're going to be doing the mid-year book freakout tag. Well, it's kind of more so like a mid-year book check-in. I'm kind of excited to be doing this for the very first time because I could have done it last year, but I was still very new to BookTube because now I've been on BookTube for a year, which is another thing in and of itself. But I'm very excited to be doing this tag for the first time today. It's been a while since I've done a tag as well. Like, I don't think I've done one in a long time. So it's very, very exciting, and I hope you're all well and well rested. I hope you're staying hydrated, drink that water if you haven't yet already. And if you've yet to check out my Instagram nor my Twitter, I would highly recommend you go do that because I post some extra bookish content that you're not gonna see here. Okay, so we're just gonna get right into it. I'll have the questions and the original creator of the tag linked in the description down below. The very first question asks about the best book that I've read so far this year. And for this one, I have two because I can't decide. And so we have Girl, Woman, Other by Bernardine Evaristo, but also The Vanishing Half by Britt Bennett. Both of these just tackle race in such a great way. Like, you can really tell that post-colonialism is like my top field of academia because but I really liked how in Girl, Woman, Other, Bernardine Evaristo tackles the multitudes of racism across generations in a British setting, but also sometimes not a British setting, but it impacts these women and other people in so many different ways, and I think it was just really good. And I think that the stories we witness from each of these characters and each of these perspectives and the way they interconnect with one another is just so profound, and I think I really loved Bernardine Evaristo's writing. The writing style does take a little bit of getting used to, but once you get used to it, it becomes just so much more. And I was talking about this with Chanel and Bria for the Crusty Book Club in February, and we just had a really, really great conversation about this book, and it's one of the best conversations I think I've had about a book like this. This is definitely one that is quite a staple for reading, and it's one that I think should be added to course reading lists. But then, when we get to The Vanishing Half, I recently did this for the women's fiction video that you can go watch. This just talks so much about the performance of race and how much, like, we perceive whiteness and blackness in a person. It definitely can be analysed in those senses, and I think that it's so interesting to see how each character performs their whiteness or their blackness in a different way. Just the story between the Veens twins is just amazing, and I think it's written super well, and the distinct personalities of both twins are just stellar. Stellar! It was really great, and I think that, like, the story is very compelling. It draws you in. I wouldn't say it's a tragedy, but it's almost kind of that way. It does hit you hard, but it's definitely one of, like, the more really good read that I've read so far this year. The next question then asks, what is the best sequel that I have read in 2021 so far? And I've got to say, it is The Last Olympian by Rick Riordan, which I recently read for the Percy Jackson vlog because I'm exploring the Riordanverse. I don't need to say much about this, apart from if you haven't gone to watch that Percy Jackson video, I would highly recommend you go do that because I go into a lot more of, like, detailed thoughts and stuff. But The Last Olympian is just such a great conclusion to this series. It really culminates a lot of the character journeys that Rick Riordan has set up. In the first book, we see Percy, Annabeth, Grover, even Luke. Like, I know I didn't mention Luke a lot in the Percy Jackson video, but Luke does really come a long way from the very first book, and I think that he has his own distinct character arc. Slightly negative, but then we do see that slight upward tick of positive in the end, and so it's very interesting to see how each of these characters are developed and just given such great progression. Rick Riordan is able to build that conflict and that anticipation and just build up to such a satisfying conclusion that I'm really excited to carry on with the series and explore more of the Riordanverse because there's so much more to be explored. And it's just everything that a sequel should be and everything that a sequel can be. You'll be seeing Rick Riordan quite a bit in this video, I think. The next question then asks for new releases that I haven't read yet but want to. There is one book that I haven't got yet that I'm going to be getting soon that I really want to read, and that is Dull A for for Aunties by Jessie Q. Sukanto. And this one is kind of like a murder mystery, quirky rom-com-esque novel. And that just speaks to me right away because I love, at the moment, I'm really loving like genre fusion, like where like two genres that don't really seem like they could fit together. And so I'm really looking forward to seeing like a rom-com murder mystery. It's kind of giving me like quirky Murder, She Wrote vibes. Like, cozy mysteries. I would love to write a cozy mystery someday. But anyway, Starlight for Aunties is one that I want to read. Another one that I want to read is Act Your Age, Eve Brown by Talia Hibbert. This is one that I'm going to be reading this summer. It's one that has been on my TBR for the longest time, and I'm finally going to be getting to read it soon. So yeah, I think I might take it with me to like the beach at some point and just read it there. That's another one. Oh, actually, I do have one more. How could I forget? The other book that I really want to read that came out this year is Heartstopper Volume 4 by Alice Oseman. This one I've been dying to read for a while, and I did say actually in the Q&A that I had with Alice Oseman that I was going to read this as soon as. Then I had the idea for the Alice Oseman verse reading vlog, and so I've been putting it off until like I actually have able to like solidify like when I'm going to be able to do that vlog. So we'll see, and like a lot of people have been interested in that. Or we'll see if more people are interested. That is another new release that's come out this year that I'm dying to read but haven't read yet. Then we get on to the most anticipated releases for the second half of the year, and I have two because they're both sequels, and so we have Jade Legacy by Fonda Lee, and we also have Redemptor by John Nefueko. Both of these books, oh, I am excited for them. Jade Legacy, there's arcs. Arcs exist of Jade Legacy, and I want them. I want a Jade Legacy arc so badly. I would willingly sell my soul. I would willingly sell my firstborn child. Actually, no, I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't. Let's not get too carried away. But I want that arc. I want that arc. I just want to rip off the band-aid. I want to get all the hurt out of the way, the crying out of the way, the suffering out of the way. It's gonna hurt so badly. It's gonna hurt so much. I mean, after Jade War, like, and then we got to Redemptor, because I was shocked that Greybearer is only a duology. I thought it was gonna be a trilogy, but then they just like, nope, duology, and I'm like, I'm excited because after the end of Greybearer and everything that went down, one of the most iconic YA fantasies of 2020, I'm excited to see wait, I just sound like a Roblox character. I'm just really excited to see what goes down in Redemptor, and I'm hoping there's gonna be arcs of Redemptor, although I haven't seen any as of yet. I'm just really excited for both of these releases. Okay, so the next question is gonna be a controversial one, and that is, what has been the biggest disappointment of so far this year? And this one, I've seen so many people like this book, and that is A Dowry of Blood by St. Gibson. This book, I can't get behind it. Like, some of the writing is really nice, but then some of the writing feels like it tries too hard to be quotable and just impactful, and it doesn't work. Trying to read this book critically, yeah, no, I can't, and I just got bored. It didn't do anything for me. It didn't really feel like a gothic. It just wasn't good. I'm not even sad about it. I'm not even sad about it that it wasn't great. Like, I was bored. I can definitely see, like, other people liking it, though, because I have different reading tastes to other people, but it just missed the mark for me. It wasn't great, and, like, I just felt like a lot of the characters within this were quite flat. I don't really want to talk more about this book now. A Dowry of Disappointment. The next question then asks about the biggest surprise that I encountered through reading this year, and that's actually two books. The first book was Tender is the Flesh by Augustina Bazterrica. I'm assuming some of you might have already guessed that this book might have been my biggest surprise, because this book is about cannibalism, and I didn't realize I would like a book about cannibalism so much. It's just weird. It was a good read though, like, the ending, the plot, It was such a fascinating read and a look at kind of a society that takes cannibalism as kind of something that's commercialized and something that's commodified in society. But it was a good read, and I felt very drawn into the world, drawn into the characters and their mindsets. Wouldn't necessarily be a cannibal myself. I mean, I am not Armie Hammer. And then the other book that I was surprised that I enjoyed a lot was Piranesi by Susanna Clarke. Like I mentioned in my women's fiction video, I almost DNF'd this because it was just boring in the beginning. Like, it wasn't the best, and it just, it didn't really hit that, like, mark for me in the beginning. But then, after, like, 80 odd pages, this book slapped. This book was amazing. amazing. It was so good and really explored the themes of like ambition, identity, and religion, and kind of like the psychological effects of being trapped within one place for so long. And it was just really interesting. I really enjoyed it, and I think that it was just such a good read, especially Susanna Clarke's writing after part 3. It just got a lot more interesting and intriguing. It's just such a like gravitating and kind of like, it's more so like self-actualization and self-realization. It was great and I really enjoyed it. I can technically do questions 7 and 9 together. Question 7 asks, what is your favorite new author? Question 8 asks about newest fictional crush, but I don't really get fictional crushes. It's just not something that I do. Like, I love characters, but I don't really necessarily ship myself with them. I kind of grew out of that. New favorite author that is new or debut. I think we're all realizing that Rick Riordan is my new favorite author because he's great. He's amazing. And then I'm holding up this book for a reason, because newest favorite character, I think we all know this is coming. Nico D'Angelo. Nico D'Angelo. Nico D'Angelo. Nico D'Angelo. Oh my, haha. This boy is special. This boy's amazing. He is just, he's great. I adore him. He is my adopted child. Not my actual child, my adopted child. He's just so amazing. Badass, powerful, iconic. Everyone's saying that he gets much better in like Trials of Apollo and Heroes of Olympus, and I'm not ready, besties. I'm not ready. I'm really excited. I'm really excited for it. I think that Nico just adds so much to this series as a whole and gives such like a different perspective to Percy, and also just the way that he is able to do things and just be such an amazing character. Like, the things he goes through in this like series as a whole is just, and then the way that he just, you know, comes out of it with the ultimate badass, an icon, king. Yes, Nico D'Angelo, masterpiece of a character. Love him. Stan him for clear skin. This is now a Nico D'Angelo stan account. I said this before, I'll say it again. The next question then asks about a book that made you cry. And so I'm obviously gonna show Me, My Dad, and the End of the Rainbow by Benjamin Dean. This one doesn't seek out to make you cry. It made me cry because of just how wholesome it was and how like cute it was, and just kind of like the family dynamics that we experienced through this novel, and just like the happiness and the gayness. It just, it makes me feel so happy that there is a book like this out in the world for kids. It just makes me hope that we have kind of more books like this for children in the future, and it just makes me so happy. It makes me want to hug people, this book. It's just so adorable and amazing, and my heart just like, every time I think about this book, tears start forming because of just how amazing it is. Plus, Benjamin Dean has got 2 new books coming out. He's got a YA thriller called The King is Dead. I think that's coming out next year. He has like another novel then coming out the year after. And so I'm really excited to be checking out more of his fiction on this channel. Me, My Dad, and the End of the Rainbow was just superbly written. I'm like, if Benjamin Dean can write really good middle grades, I'm really excited to see his young adult. The next question that asks about a book that just made me happy. And for this one, I picked one that I read during my translated fiction vlog. We have Here the Whole Time by 2021's. And this one just made me so happy, like all over. It's just such a cute and wholesome story about 2 boys kind of getting together over the course of 15 days. It's just beautiful. I just found myself relating to a lot of the experiences, but also kind of each of these characters coming to realize parts of themselves and realizing that like they are beautiful no matter what. This just does so well in just detailing such a cute story, and I think Vitor Martins is just such a great writer. I hope more of his works are translated, because I would love to read some of his other works of fiction as well, and it's just so good. It's so good. This also made me cry at points, but like, Philippe is just such, I just want to hug him. I want to hug him and tell him things will be okay. He's just such a cute boy. He's just iconic. I love him. Stan him. The next question then asks about the most beautiful book I've bought or received so far this year, and I have 2, because first of all, we have Le Mot d'Arthur by Sir Thomas Malory. This is one that I'm going to be using for research this summer. It's quite a thick boy, and it has like gold sprayed edges. This is the Canterbury Classics edition. It's just so beautiful. The drop caps are just stunning. It has illustrations throughout. Like, it's just so beautiful, and I love it, and I'm really excited to read from it this summer. But then we have another book that I received from Galant's, and it's just so beautiful. It is by Joanne Joanne M. Harris, and it is Honeycomb. And just look how stunning this book is. Like, it's like full-on naked hardback. I think it's like cloth bound, and it has like this stunning like copper foil on it, and it's just amazing. The color illustration was done by Sue Gent. Amazing work. Honestly, iconic. And there's also illustrations on the inside of this one as well. Like, we have like lined illustrations, but then we also have full-on illustrated pages, and I'm really excited to read this. I've never really read any of Joanne M. Harris's works, so I'm really excited to delve into Honeycomb. I don't know if this is like a companion to anything or not initially, but I'm sure you in the comments will let me know if I need to read anything else before I read Honeycomb. And then the final question asks if there's any books that I need to read by the end of the year. And I did cover some of them in my summer TBR video, but I do have a few that I really do need to get through by the end of the year. And the first one is The Final Empire by Brandon Sanderson, plus the other two books in the Mistborn trilogy. I said I'd read this in January. It is now July, so I'm gonna have to do this video at some point this year, so it's gonna happen. I'm probably gonna do it in like September, like in the autumn time, because autumn winter is very much more of a fantasy season. Don't question me, it is what it is. So I'll probably read this during the autumn winter time. The next book that I'll then be reading, and it actually comes out this month actually, is The Taking of Jake Livingston by Ryan Douglas. This one I'm really excited about because I think it's just gonna be such an amazing book. It's like a paranormal thriller, and I think I'm going to be reading Ryan's writing for the very first time, and I'm so excited because I've seen like small snippets and it's just been so good. So I'm really excited to actually check out the full novel and read their writing for the very first time. And the final novel that I feel like I need to read by the end of the year is The Beautiful Ones by Silvia Moreno Garcia. I've loved every single Silvia Moreno Garcia novel I've read so far. I've read Gods of Jade and Shadow, I've read Mexican Gothic, I love them both. This one I'm hoping I'll really love as well because it just sounds amazing. It's like a story of love, betrayal, and it's got a little bit of magic in there too, so I'm really excited to see what this offers and what Silvia Moreno Garcia has cooked up for us this time. Do not worry, there are a bunch of other books that I do need to read by the end of the year as well. There are a lot of books. But yeah, quick few updates as well, because we're going into like reading for the rest of the year. I have been very fortunate enough to be offered a place to study my master's in English literature starting in September, so I'm going to be doing a few bits of like grad school content from September onwards. I think I might try and record like my very first week. I think I'm going to record like a back to school book haul potentially, I have no idea yet, but if there's any like kind of like school content or like study content you'd like to see, let me know in the comment section down below. But yeah, that is basically everything for this mid-year book check-in slash freakout tag. If you want to do the tag for yourself, you can find the questions in the description down below. And yeah, if you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, and if you're new here, be sure to click that subscribe button so that you're notified whenever I upload next. You can find all of my social medias in the description down below, along with the link to my coffee page, just in case you wanted to leave any helpful tips in order to help improve the channel. And so yeah, I guess until the next time, bye besties.